this series deserved to be tied at 2 games apiece. Just, first of all, can't remember the last time, I'm trying to remember, where we had both a banger NBA Finals series and a banger Stanley Cup Finals. Now, I'm not a hockey buff by any stretch of the imagination. I'm an on and off Ducks fan. One of those teams where I could just really, some seasons I tune in, some I check out. Just being invested in a few too many sports to keep up with hockey. But when I tap in for the playoffs every year, I'm just like, damn, I should watch more hockey. But anyway, this isn't a hockey YouTube channel. But even the hockey heads are saying this is an all-timer just by short list greatness standards. Just 2 banger series and just another great character-defining win for the Oklahoma City Thunder. It really looked like the Pacers were boat racing the Thunder at their own game. Transition. They were slicing apart the Oklahoma City Thunder defense. The Oklahoma City Thunder defense. They kept the pick and roll steady with Halliburton. They were picking at gilgeous-alexander. They went back to their starting lineup that won them 68 games, basically, got them through the playoffs, and looked discombobulated on defense. Really did not look like a great start for the Thunder. If I was a Thunder fan, I would have been sick this entire game, because right off the bat, you could just feel their defense was off. Hartenstein was sagging a little bit too much off the corners for a few Siakim threes, a Nesmith three. They were kind of scrambling a little bit. And the Pacers defense, man, got to give the Pacers defense credit, because for a lot of this game, they not only found ways to just make it hard on gilgeous-alexander to get in the paint and just be fine with taking tired, contested mid-range jump shots, they simultaneously did a good job of making all the non-Jalen Williams and non-SGA players on Oklahoma City be play finishers, but also somehow getting out and contesting and just taking away any space for open threes. They were really getting out and recovering, flying like bats out of hell. Made Chet Holmgren put the ball on the deck a couple times. Lou Dort had a few wing threes that he was basically spooked out of when Nesmith would jump out, or Nembhard or Siakam would just pick Jalen Williams' pocket every time. Jalen Williams handled this series, man. The last few series, but especially in this game, it really reared its ugly head. And the Pacers got a lot of live ball turnovers off of that, scored in transition a few times. And it really just looked like the problems that OKC can have with its offense were just rearing its ugly head at the worst time. Had one made three-pointer at halftime, finished with 3 3-pointers the entire game, and somehow won it. But the Pacers were getting whatever threes they wanted. Halliburton was still semi-aggressive in this game. And really, I thought in the second half, the Thunder just did a great job of denying Halliburton, especially in that fourth quarter. Halliburton did get to the bucket a few times, but really down the stretch, and especially the last 4 minutes of the game, they really just clamped down on Halliburton. Lou Dort was just physical, was doing what Nembhard has been doing to SGA the last few games, which is just denying him, making sure he doesn't touch the ball, and if he's touching the ball, it's deep in the shot clock and far away. Miles Turner was missing a lot of open threes, although Chet was coming out to contest some. I actually thought Chet Holmgren had a really scrappy game in this one. I thought he was protecting the rim well. He was obviously playing through spraining his left ankle twice in this game and then getting kicked in the shin at one point, but I thought he rebounded well. I thought he finished around the rim well. In that fourth quarter, he got a few key offensive rebounds that kind of allowed the Thunder to dig into that 7-point hole to open the fourth quarter. It's that old cliche where Chet just found different ways to impact the basketball game. On switches against Halliburton, he got burned some, but he also made sure not to give up, Halliburton's sidestep 3 to the right. He likes doing that. The weird thing about Halliburton is he likes to pull up to the right as a right-handed shooter, and I thought Chet sat really well on some of those, dribble combos Halliburton would try to do Chet kind of stayed wide, stayed low, used his length to kind of dictate some angles on those switches. And Miles Turner, man, really just a poor game from Miles Turner. 0 for 6 from 3. There were some shots where he was open and it wasn't even close. And then on top of that, Oklahoma City went with a small ball lineup with Chet at the 5, but it was Caruso, Dort, SGA, Jalen Williams, and they were just flying out to contest at Miles Turner too. The Thunder defense just did a really good job at denying Halliburton, not letting Siakam get a shot off in the last 10 minutes. Now, that's a little bit of dereliction of duty from the Indiana Pacers, but Siakam was having such a great game. You would think you would give him the ball a little bit. You can't have no shots the last 10 minutes of the game. Or I think it was one shot. It was a movement three-pointer that Siakam bricked, I believe. But just an unbelievable character win for the Thunder. And really, you know, a grown-up moment for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams, because I thought Shai was a little uneven in this one. You know, obviously he was efficient to open the game. He was like 4 of 7, but Nembhard he's been incredible all playoffs. Picking him up 94 feet, denying him the ball. I feel like Nembhard's denial of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was a main reason also that the Thunder weren't getting as many threes as they were probably getting in the first 2 games. Just because Nembhard can get over the screen, Isaiah Hartenstein's backdoor passes that he likes to throw to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander when he fakes going up the top and goes to the rim, darts to the rim. Nembhard is covering that. He's not letting Shai run around Hartenstein's body to get the dribble handoff. He's done a hell of a job the last 2 games just doing whatever he can to make sure Shai does not get the space that he has had freely in the first 2 games. And then I liked what the Thunder did down the stretch, which was, you know, you let J-Dub bring the ball up the court, you let Shai Gilgeous-Alexander set the screen so you can get the switch, and Nesmith is guarding Shai instead of Nembhard, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can deal with the length of Nesmith. He can't deal with the, you know, just peskiness and, you know, being able to get skinny on screens like Nembhard. Nesmith actually has been the guy really great at getting around screens, but I think that ankle injury has sort of slowed him down a little bit. He's still good at it, but it's just a different matchup for Shai. And they attacked Nesmith, and Nesmith also fouled Shai, give the Thunder free throws to put him up 4. But it's at this point in the series where the teams tighten their rotations. They moved Shai's minutes around to kind of give him some more rest so he could be ready for the fourth quarter. And I figured that was some of the case with why Shai started out slowly, because I think he was just saving his legs for the fourth quarter. But it was getting a little dicey for the Thunder because there were a lot of possessions where Cason Wallace was taking a wild shot or trying to make a decision. Alex Caruso was great today, but I also felt like some of his buckets were really tough shots off the dribble that I'm sure Pacers fans and the Pacers players will take 100% of the time. But hey, you win the games however you can get it. And the Thunder dug deep in this one and were able to scrap it out. And now we have a 2-2 series. Look, man, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I was dead wrong in this series. I was of the mindset of whoever wins Game 4 was going to win this championship. But honestly, what the fuck do I know? Like, these are 2 special teams going at it. And because of that, we're getting a special series. This has been a treat, man. Adding this part at the end because I completely forgot. But, man, Ben Mathurin giveth, and Ben Mathurin taketh away.